Hello everyone, Ishani here. As a design team member for CrafTangles, today I have got 3 cards featuring the amazing stencils which have been launched by CrafTangles, the masking stencils. There are 3 different kinds, and for the first card I am going to use this hearts masking stencils. So in this card I will be using this heart stencil and another stencil which is called Heartful. I'll also be using masking paper by CrafTangles, and I start with taking natural white paper because it is also good for light watercoloring, and I plan to do some zig coloring. I have cut my natural white paper into A2 size, and I'm going to use the stamp set called I'm Stuck on You, and will use this cactus for my card. I'm using a stamping platform to stamp my image, but before that I just want to check if the heart stencil that I will have around is centered. The reason I'm using stamping platform is because the natural white paper has a little texture, and stamping it twice or thrice will give dark and crisp images. This card will be 1 layer card, and I know many of us are scared of 1 layer cards, including me. But let's see if I can make it easier for you. Now I'm stamping it on masking paper, and I cut my mask just at the edge of the stamped image. I peel off the backing paper and mask my stamped cactus. And now I'm arranging my heart stencil so that it's centered and securing it with washi tape. And now for stenciling, I'm going to blend 3 colors of distress oxides with the new blending brushes launched by CrafTangles. I start with spice marmalade, then go to picked raspberry, and then wilted violet. Now I'm taking the heartful stencil, and I'm going to use the same colors, but with a little heavy hand. I'm going to stencil through it. And now we have a subtle background with some little hearts on our big heart. And now is the time for reveal. I take off the masking paper and look at that cute cactus. I chose these colors for ink blending because these remind me of dusk in desert. And before I proceed with coloring of my stamp, I take my ombre inks just for added interest and the sentiments from the same stamp set. And now I'm doing some very light zig coloring. I take 3 shades of green for the body of the cactus. And some yellows and oranges for the flower and the fruit. And I use some browns and greys for the little stones below. And just for some added interest, I use a white gel pen for little highlights. I hope you like the first card which I made. It has few techniques and it's a 1 layer card. Very easy, quick, clean and simple. And I'm sure you can make many like these in a go. For the next card, I'm going to use the circle masking stencils. I take dual texture white paper and I'm taking the biggest circle from the stencil and securing it with washi tape. So the circle will be my galaxy, and we will use distress oxide inks to make a galaxy background. For creating the galaxy background, I am going to use the blending brushes by CrafTangles and few colors of distress oxide inks. I start with squeezed lemonade. I dab the brush on my circle couple of times. Then I take the next color and I do the same with peacock feathers also. I keep cleaning off my brush with a dry baby wipe before I put it in another color. The purple color that I used is wilted violet, and then I take salty oceans just around the edges of my galaxy. I could also use darker distress oxide inks, but I do not have those, so I take a nautical blue color from Memento inks and go around my edges. When you darken the edges and keep your center light, it gives it 4 dimension. Then I take a dry baby wipe and just swirl around. The distress oxide inks were wet, so if I just swirl around, it would give a look of the far away galaxies. Then I take Memento's Tuxedo Black ink and dab it around for little depth. I'm using acrylic white color. I dilute it with water for my celestial bodies and stars. And erroneously, I get a big blob of paint, which I remove with the needle to make some planets, and then later I realized I could make it my moon. So I take a little more paint and with a brush I make a round moon in my galaxy. I let my galaxy dry, and did you see how convenient the mask was when we did the splatter? They did not spoil anything. They were all at one place because of the masking stencil. Now I prep my surface with anti-static tool and stamp my sentiment "Love you to the moon" with Versamark and heat emboss it with white embossing powder. I really love the way my galaxy turned out with distress oxide inks. I hope you liked it too and will do something similar with your inks and this amazing masking stencil. For my third card, I am going to use Hearts masking stencil and combine it with rectangle masking stencil. I am using dual texture white paper by CrafTangles, and I take the rough side of it for my card. I am taking the largest of the rectangles from my rectangle masking stencil set and I secure it with washi tape. Then I take the heart stencil and one of the small hearts, which I will use for making my subtle background. I am using various distress inks in light colors, and I'll be using my blender brushes because I do not have many. I'm going to use the same ones for different colors, and for that I have kept 2 baby wipes. One is wet and one is dry, and also a piece of paper where I'll check if my color is gone from the brush as I keep applying. I want a subtle background, that's why these light colors. You can use any color as per your wish. Now that my heart stenciling was over, I loved how the rectangle stencil created the frame around my card. I'm going to use a sentiment from the set What I Need, and I prep my surface with anti-static powder because I'm going to clear emboss the sentiment. I'm using VersaFine Onyx black ink and using a stamping platform to stamp my sentiment. I'm using clear embossing powder and heat setting my sentiment so that the sentiment pops up from the stenciled background of the soft hearts. I hope you liked my ideas of using masking stencils and would try them yourself. If you have any queries, please do ask us in the comments box below. Also, all the supplies used today are linked in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're new here, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. It means so much to us. Thank you very much and happy crafting. Bye bye.